Everybody, welcome back to the Team O'Neill Rally School. I'm Wyatt Knox. What we're going to talk about really quickly here, handbrake turns. And the idea with a handbrake turn is to pull the handbrake in order to lock the rear tires up to create oversteer. Essentially, as you're going around a corner, if you sense the car is going to understeer, if you're going at a slow enough speed for it to be a reasonable option, basically hold the button down because you don't want it to lock up on you. So hold the button right down from the get-go. Pull the handbrake, the back of the car is going to slide around, put it back, and drive along on your merry way. As soon as your left hand is all alone on the steering wheel, it likes to go crazy. So keep your left hand kind of planted just where it would be at 9 and 3. Leave it there at 9 o'clock. You can still turn or counter steer a little if you need to for that second where you're on the handbrake with your right hand, and it shouldn't be too much of a problem. As you start approaching corners with a little more speed, obviously very high speeds, don't do handbrake turns. There's no real advantage to it, but at slower, medium to slow speed corners, it's a viable option. There are shades of gray. The handbrake, you can feel it just sitting still in a parking lot. There's a little tension, a little more tension, a lot of tension, and the same thing obviously going back down. You don't always have to go from 0 to 100% back to 0. It's controlling the rear wheel speed of your car. As you're going around a corner, you might find yourself making a few little adjustments with the handbrake. It's not an on-off switch. It's a little more like a dimmer sometimes, and you can feel where it's engaging and biting and doing its thing. Let off the gas, turn the wheel, pull the handbrake. When the car rotates, put the handbrake back, counter steer, and get back on the gas, and you'll be out of there. There's two different ways to do it. If you turn the wheel and then pull the handbrake, the car rotates timed basically off of when you pull the handbrake. So when you turn and then handbrake, the rotation's when you handbrake. The other way to do it is if you pull the handbrake and then turn, the rotation happens when you give it the steering input. That's why people like to handbrake and then turn on a slippery road or on a narrow road or where there's not a lot of room to screw up, because that steering input is very precise and that gives you the rotation. Where if you turn and then handbrake, not so much all the time, it's a little less predictable. Turning the wheel and pulling the handbrake, you'll get one effect. Pull the handbrake and then turn, and you'll get a different effect. Turning before you pull the handbrake will cause a big arc of a corner and the car is going to change direction a lot. If you pull the handbrake and then turn, the car will rotate but mostly stay heading the direction that momentum's taking it. Narrow roads, we see it a lot on pavement as well. Pull the handbrake, then turn the wheel, and it's a little more predictable for people. If you have an all-wheel drive car or a rear-wheel drive car, when you pull the handbrake and lock up the rear wheels, that causes a problem if you have a manual transmission and you're in gear. A rear-wheel drive car can stall out. An all-wheel drive car usually won't stall, but the handbrake turn won't work well. Rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive cars push the clutch in, turn and pull the handbrake. In a front-wheel drive car like this, you just don't need to do that. Having the rear wheels stopped while the front wheels are turning, especially with an all-wheel drive car, it's hard on the center differential and the transmission and some of those components. So yeah, that's the basics of handbrake turns. Have fun with it out there. Come on out, do some driving, come out to the Team O'Neill Rally School. We'll teach you how to do it and a whole bunch of other stuff. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.